Welcome to our news at 7:30, and thank you for staying with us. I'm Natalia Hall. Arawak key vendors are reacting to a deadly shooting that occurred over the weekend. In this report, our Berthany McDermott speaks to one vendor who is concerned that it will impact business, while another believes it will not.
Those Arawak key vendors giving mixed reaction to the deadly incident. The murder occurred behind Arawak Key in front of Bahamas Customs near Junkanoo Village Club. D. Waters Cafe owner Dwight Ambrister says he's concerned.
When people speak about Arawak Key, when you call Arawak Key name, people literally think you are on the main prop of Arawak Key where the restaurants are. And so it always have a negative connotation with regards to persons who may want to come out to Arawak Key, families who may not want to be associated or even around any kind of negative behavior.
But not everyone shares that view.
That's a parking lot incident. A lot of things can happen in the parking lot anywhere, any business establishment at wee hours of the morning. You know? So I guess, like I said, don't have nothing that you can personally control.
Police say the woman was shot and killed around 1:45 Sunday morning. According to reports, she was with another woman when she was approached and shot by a man wearing a hooded jacket. This vendor says he doesn't believe the incident will affect business.
As far as the business, once we keep everything secure, customers, everybody all right, and I feel as though it shouldn't have nothing to do with the business thriving.
Now, in light of this incident, one Arawak Key vendor is suggesting police beef up patrols in the area.
So if we can have increased surveillance, let's say between 12 and 5 a.m. or 12 and 7 a.m. in the morning, it does well for these restaurant owners, businesses out here, because before that time, everybody's active around here. And so it's always good to have heightened security. Myself, I've increased my surveillances in terms of camera work.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks for that report, Berthany. Now, Chief Superintendent Chrisling Skippings providing an update on that deadly shooting at the popular spot for locals and visitors, saying they are following leads.
We're still investigating. We're still pleading to members of the public who may have seen or heard something. We're asking them to reach out to the officers of the Criminal Investigation Department, and they can reach them at 502-9991 or 2, and so our investigations continue.
She also gave an update for last week's murder, where a man's bullet-ridden body was found lying in the road just feet away from the gated High Point community just off John F. Kennedy Drive. Now, a dark-colored Japanese vehicle was also a short distance away.
We do have a person of interest in custody, and we're following significant leads at this particular time.
A man on bail for murder and attempted murder is back behind bars, charged with committing the same crimes. Prosecutors say 31-year-old Spencer Lewis is responsible for a double shooting that resulted in the death of Max Darville and seriously injured DeAndre Demerit. Both men were attending a grill-out through Lucky Heart Corner on September 19th when they were shot by the occupants of a heavily tinted Toyota Passo. Darville died in hospital as a result of the shooting on September 23rd. Lewis was not required to enter pleas to charges of murder and attempted murder when he appeared before Senior Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans today. The Comfort Street resident was denied bail, and the matter was adjourned to February 16, 2023 for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. At the time of the incident, Lewis was on bail for the 2017 murder of Kurt Ariste and the attempted murder of Dino Cox. The charges stem from a shooting on Durham Street off Mount Royal Avenue. Teachers and administrative staff at the Thelma Gibson Primary School calling in sick over the past few days. Now, last month, teachers protested in front of the school, telling the media that the school's principal needed to be removed. Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson says Daxon was on administrative leave for just over a week, but has since returned to her post. Wilson says teachers are not happy about it.
There's been no instructional time on that school campus for the past 2 to 3 days. We are calling upon the Minister of Education to ensure that this matter is addressed satisfactorily so that teachers can get on with teaching and students can get on with learning.
Now, the action taken by teachers last month stems from an allegation of an incident between the school's principal and a teacher. Wilson says a police report was filed. Wilson now says that a petition has now been signed by scores of parents and teachers.
The intervention with the Labor Department was not satisfactory, and we call upon the Ministry of Education to do its due diligence.
It's now time for your check on temperatures outside our studios. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is back in the Weather Center. Good evening, Greg.
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a quick look at conditions outside our studios. Temperatures in the low 80s, 81 right now, under what we call intermittent clouds, some passing clouds around. Your winds are now out of the north-northwest at 9 miles per hour, and your feel-like temperature, a very comfortable 66 degrees, believe it or not. Dry air mass in place. Satellite view, frontal boundary across the central Bahamas, generating some showers and some isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the central and the southeastern islands. That frontal boundary will continue to push towards the southeast. Dry air mass moving in across our area behind that. So we're looking at some very pleasant conditions tonight through tomorrow. That's your first quick look at weather. Stay with us. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, Bahamas to the world, the Ministry of Tourism's mission. Plus, how a medical school on Grand Bahama is working to fill a physician shortage. And check it to catch it, why early detection of breast cancer is key. That's coming up when our news returns. We are back and open for business. That's the message tourism officials are taking while on a global tourism marketing push. Our Bethany McDermott reports on the latest tour stop.
For the Ministry of Tourism, it's a numbers game, passenger arrivals and heads in beds. Now more than ever, travelers are looking to rediscover the world in a post-COVID-19 era. And the ministry has its sights set on cities in the U.S., Canada, the U.K., Latin America, and Europe. The latest stop on the mission was New York City, where Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper took the message that we are open for business.
We want to expand arrivals from this area, and therefore we're working with our stakeholders, our partners. We're adding some new partners, hopefully. We're talking with the sporting teams in this area. We're working with all of the stakeholders, airlines and hotels and promotion boards, all of them who are here with us in New York.
The direct New York to Nassau air service has both historical and economic importance. Taxi drivers, straw vendors, and hotels have long benefited from it. Cooper is hoping the convenience will now make way for new markets like sports tourism.
We're sending the message that we are 16 destinations within one destination. We are the mecca for boating and yachting and fishing and diving and private aviation. I'm so excited about it. I want to go to the Bahamas myself.
These missions are more than just selling opportunities. As Acting Director General Latia Duncombe explains, it's about telling the Bahamian story.
When we look at bringing the Bahamas to you, that's exactly what we're doing, promoting the 16-island destination and giving them an experience of the Bahamas, all in one, through our missions.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
Thanks, Bethany. 180 homes have already been repaired under the Small Homes Repair Program, according to State Minister responsible Lisa Ramming, who said the goal is to repair 1,000 homes. Ramming says $3 million was allocated for the program, adding that 800 homeowners have already applied. She said the immediate focus, though, will be on assisting the elderly, the disabled, and single-family homes.
There are many families who, through no fault of their own, need a helping hand. People are definitely trying their hardest to stay afloat, but can't even save enough money to make the necessary repairs to their homes, which we have seen in traveling from home to home, neighborhood to neighborhood.
Over 500 quotes from contractors have been filed with the ministry, adding that contractors will have to show proof of experience and provide work references. Applicants will have to show proof of property ownership and proof of citizenship and must fall within the economic status requirements of the program.
The small home repair program will operate at the highest standard as we move forward. We have certainly established internal mechanisms to prevent potential abuse and misuse of resources, and to ensure equal access for all eligible applicants. And I can say that only persons who genuinely require help will benefit. And help will be delivered based on need rather than connections.
When our news comes back from the break, a med school remains committed to building on Grand Bahama. The story straight ahead.
Plus, Italia, coming up in sports for tonight, the UB Mingos, they had a pretty busy weekend. Their soccer team getting off to a great start to the regular season, and their women's softball team in action in playoffs. We'll tell you how it all went down just ahead in sports.
And how you can get a free mammogram with Island Luck Cares. The details when our news returns. This is our news. Thank you for staying with us. The Ministry of Health and Wellness needs your help. Officials need your input this month to provide data through a CAP survey on climate change and health in the Bahamas. They say this information could change the way our talks on climate change play out on the international stage. Our Marlena Leonard reports.
I encourage everyone at the sound of my voice and everyone in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to be a part of what we are doing, to arm our Prime Minister with the tools necessary so that we can receive monetary gain as a result of the devastating impacts of climate change brought on by the big players.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Michael Darville, announced the launch of the Knowledge, Attitude and Practice Survey on climate change and health in the Bahamas. Now, while the surveys of the past have been phone calls, this one is going to be a text blast, and they say it's only going to take you about 20 or 30 minutes, but the difference you could make could be worth millions. The minister says the data from Bahamians on the impact of climate change is critical in the fight to get larger nations and international grants to compensate financially.
And we need to do it in a very short period of time, because very soon the Bahamas will be at COP27, pleading our case, trying our endeavor best to tap into grant funding and resources.
The survey is being launched with climate change and health projects representatives from the National Medical Ethics Committee of the Bahamas and the Anchor Group. Anchor Group representative Dr. Jacinda Higgs says they hope 100,000 Bahamians and residents will participate. And for those who may assume their data may have been recorded during the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian,
it was done under privacy. We can report numbers, but we did not do the ethical application to ensure, and that's going to be moving forward, that when we do have a disaster, that the research can be done the same time. We can collect the data and say how many people evacuated from Grand Bahama, from Abaco, what gender, what were their concerns, where did they live, what injury.
The survey begins today for CSOs and public and private healthcare workers, and the public can expect their survey invitations starting October 14th. Reporting for our news, I'm Marlena Leonard.
A top official from Western Atlantic University School of Medicine says despite challenges brought on by Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic, they will not turn their backs on Grand Bahama. Officials from the school pledging their commitment to the island during a community breakfast that was also attended by government and health officials, as well as business leaders on that island.
When we started this a number of years ago, we didn't anticipate a hurricane. We didn't anticipate COVID, but the hurricane was really interesting because people said to me, so what are you going to do? The island was really devastated. So are you going to go to Jamaica, go to Grand Cayman? I know you want to be close to the U.S. Or go to Nassau? And I said, even staying in the Bahamas, would go to Nassau. And Bill and I talked, and we said, absolutely not. We're staying in Freeport. We're committed to Freeport. Freeport's our home. And we're not going to leave. We're here, and we proved it. As Bill said, we put our stamp here, not in temporary space, but in a significant investment.
The former Minnis administration signed a heads of agreement with school officials for a $64 million medical school in Freeport. The project is being completed in phases, with the third phase expected to double the size of the campus. Construction of that phase is anticipated to commence in the second quarter of 2024. Gold says they also expect enrollment will increase.
Our student enrollment projection, so first year 67. By this time next year, this is a yearly average because obviously we have 3 start dates, but the average number of students we'll have at any given time in 2023 will be just over 200. And you can see it almost doubles in total, you can see it's over 400, so it does double, but here in Freeport, 378. Why? Because the students spend 5 semesters here, and then they move to the U.S., and that's five 15-week semesters. So they're here for 75 weeks, 20 months, and then on to the U.S. to do clinical clerkships at our partner hospitals.
A very busy weekend for the University of the Bahamas Mingos as both their soccer and softball teams took to the field in local action. Let's take a quick look at their performances.
All right, thanks, Natalia. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. If you're a fan of college athletics, in particular the UB Mingos, then you were pretty happy this past weekend. That's because they had a lot of things going on, starting with their men's soccer team as they took to the pitch going into their first match of the Bahamas Football Association's regular season. Let's take a look. The UB Mingos men's soccer team hitting the pitch Friday to open their Bahamas Football Association campaign against the Renegades FC. If Friday night's performance was any indication, the league is in for a shocker. Striker Marlon Barnes starting things off for the Mingos in the 31st minute in response to the Renegades score in the 30th. After that was back and forth, but midfielder Ronaldo Green was on fire for the Mingos. Green scored a hat trick +1, finding the net in the 41st, the 47th, 48th, and the 60th minute. Mingos win 5-3. They start their season off on a good note. Assistant head coach Alex Thompson said this match had 3 simple statements.
One, the team that we played, Renegades, is a good team and one that you can't take lightly. They're well coached and they are very good going forward. Secondly, I think it's said that Ronaldo Green is the best player in the league. He had 4 goals today. He could have had a few more. He could have had some assists.
Meanwhile, the women's softball team in playoff action Saturday night against the RAB Operators. The Operators took the early lead, going up 4-0 in the first inning. Mingos, though, they would never get a chance to get started. That's when the rain came down and flooded the field. Operators were up 6-0 heading into the bottom of the third. At that point, game will start fresh on Tuesday, with the Operators holding on to a 1-0 lead in the best-of-3 series. Head coach Shane Albury saying when the teams come back Tuesday, they're going to need more energy and better defense.
The first inning, we should have come out that inning with no runs scored, but we gave up, I think, 4 runs off of a few defensive errors, bad throws, etc. I think we need to come with more energy and lock down the defense, as well as start swinging our bats. We weren't swinging the bats that we're capable of doing. So.
And that is your check on sports for you here on this Monday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you, Italia.
Still ahead on our news tonight, free screening for breast cancer with a community foundation, how you can check it to catch it. And Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended weather outlook. Plus, a local resort captures a luxurious international award. We'll tell you who when our news returns. Welcome back to our news. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. IL Cares is giving all Island Luck account holders free mammograms at 3rd Terrace Diagnostic Center in New Providence and the Lacayan Medical Center in Freeport. Chief Operations Officer at Island Luck, Adriana Fox, says most of their customers are women, and the company understands the challenges some women face to get health care.
With IL Cares for the month of October, we're going to take that one stress off of our own people to get a free mammogram so they can check it to catch it. You have to know what is going on in order to save things.
Dr. Elizabeth Darville of Third Terrace Diagnostics Center is partnering with IL Care. She says getting tested early is key.
A lot of people have legitimate excuses for not getting a mammogram done. They live in Inagua, they live in Meguana, whatever. But at some time you do come to Nassau. You just have to make that little space when you are in Nassau or in Freeport to get your mammogram done.
There may be no tropical cyclone activity in the Atlantic right now, but there may be some rain ahead. Greg is back in the Weather Center with a look ahead. Greg?
Thanks again, Natalia. Welcome back, everybody. Taking a look at the tropics, a lot of activity still out there in the open Atlantic. National Hurricane Center watching an area of disturbed weather that's moving towards the Windward Islands, giving that a low to medium chance for formation. Will continue its trek towards the west. Should stay south of us as a high pressure to the north continues to dominate the northern area of our domain. And of course, we have a very strong tropical wave out there near Africa. The National Hurricane Center giving that one a very high chance for formation. But this one is going to continue to move out of the Atlantic towards the northwest. It should stay away from most landmass, but of course a frontal boundary is hanging across the area, expected to continue to move towards the southeast. Eventually that disturbance out there in the Atlantic should turn towards the north and merge with that frontal boundary. High pressure behind will build across our area. That will generate some very nice conditions over the next couple of days. And we're now starting to see the fronts get in here. So pleasant conditions expected, but we will continue to monitor tropics at this time. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the northwest to north at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your low tide will be at 9:19 tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, more southwest to westerly winds. That's behind the front. Your speeds will be at 10 to 15 knots. Your wave heights running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your 7-day planner, a couple of isolated showers expected in the forecast over the next couple of days. We do expect another front to get in here sometime by the end of the week, so we are increasing our rain chances by then. But all in all, it should be pretty nice. Temperatures should stay near the 90-degree mark. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
The Mandara Spa at Atlanta is capturing a prestigious international award, the Hot Grandeur Global Excellence Award for Best Spa in North America. Regional Vice President Yolanda DeVoe says to earn such a prestigious award is just another confirmation of the world-class service provided to guests. Here's our Megan Shepard.
In terms of our menu of offerings, in terms of our services, all of the soft touches, the lighting, the curation of the music, and the technicians are performing as experts so that we give the guests a flawless spa experience.
The luxury spa features Balinese accents, but the regional VP says what truly sets them apart is the unique Bahamian touches.
We launched the Bahamian Botanical collection, which is rooted in island culture. And we have bush tea, as well as the spa treatments that are the herbs and the natural ingredients that are, you can only find this in the Bahamas. You cannot find this anywhere in the world. Not only that, our soft touches, our amenities on our spa stations, the bush tea, the iced tea, it's a favorite for our guests.
The 30,000 square foot full service spa employs over 80 team members. DeVoe says they constantly invest in training to ensure that guests always leave with an unmatched experience.
We're always training. So you have some of the best professionals anywhere in the world. So when you talk about what it says about us, when guests comes here, they're normally very surprised at the level of high level of customer service and the training that we provide and how well trained spa therapists are.
And of course, DeVoe says Bahamians are always welcome to take advantage of the wide array of spa services.
Oh, absolutely. We have a number of guests when we welcome them to continue to come. And they too enjoy the experiences. They also like the global product line elements that we use. And they also like the introduction of the Bahamian Botanical collection, which is rooted in the island culture. So that makes everybody feel very proud that at least we are paying homage.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
Thanks for that report, Megan. And in case you missed our premiere broadcast tonight, be sure and join us now a half hour early weekdays for Our News with Candino Knowles starting at 7. Also, and to get all of today's top stories, be sure to visit our newly launched website at ournews.bs. With that, we thank you for joining us. On behalf of our entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.
My influence has been in making sure that the culture is woven into the company itself, which I think is important. The company was always striving for being excellent, and that came across through many of the campaigns that I did. We have an obligation to excellence, and I think that brings an inherent respect for each other because of that same shared goal.
As a CEO, it really delights me, quite frankly, to have such young, nimble, agile thinkers. Their innovation and creativity is really at the forefront when they show up for work and they're fully committed. Nothing, in my mind, beats the benefit of experience. The benefit of them on our team is tremendous. To really be thinking about fiber to the home is like the next frontier of technology. Rollout across the entire new province really brings a lot of excitement and energy to our teams. And I'm delighted to be thinking about the future of the Bahamas with fiber to the home everywhere.
Being the CFO at this young age, it really is very fulfilling to me, and it really shows that the hard work, the hours that I put in my career, they really paid off. Having such young persons in such a key role really shows that the board of directors have a lot of trust in the leadership of the young people. Being committed to excellence means that you put all of your effort into whatever it is you're doing to get the best benefit out of that task or anything you're doing in life.